Mr. Harrison Gwamnishu.
Thank you. Thank you, Rugged Man. Okay, my name is Harrison Gwamnishu. I'm from Delta State, Ubuluku, Anacha South local government area of Delta State.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And you're the.
All right. I'm the founder behind Bars Human Rights Foundation. Behind Bars Human Rights Foundation. All right. We put people behind bars and bring people behind out of bar. Out of bar. Okay. The idea of behind bars came from the prison yard. Okay. The idea of behind bars came from the prison yard. I was incarcerated in 4 prisons in Nigeria.
Were you doing a tour?
No, I was in prison as an inmate, so I waiting trial inmate, where I spent 4 years. And right inside the prison yard, we founded Prison Fame Project, where inmates' talents were discovered. And from there, too, inmates were leaving prison because we got lawyers who were coming to prison to free inmates who were detained unjustly. So that was how the idea started behind bars. Started.
So you were having, what did you say you were doing in?
I joined what they call the Prison Fame Project.
Fame?
Yeah, Prison Fame Project, yes. So, in prison, yes. We shot a movie in prison and, yeah, I can't remember again. I hope
it's not Prison Break.
No, it's a Christian movie. I think Mountain of Fire were the one who sponsored the movie. They brought in camera and we shot some movies and also musical video too. Okay.
Let's go straight into it, because you just mentioned now you were an inmate in 4 prisons. You were in prison for 4
years. Yes.
First question. So you mentioned you were in prison. You were in 4 prisons, 4 years on a waiting trial. Yes. Now, first question for me: did you commit any offense to be sent to prison?
No, I didn't commit any offense.
You didn't commit any offense?
No offense at all.
Okay. So, what led to you being incarcerated for 4 years?
Okay, I was a driver to a certain woman in the Delta States, Barrister Mary Oyibocha Bajo. She was then SSA to the governor, Emmanuel Dua, special duties.
Barrister
Mary Oyibocha
Agbajo,
yes. Okay. She was my boss then. I was a personal driver. And she was owing me 2 months' salary. She refused to pay me, so I resigned. And as I was leaving, I sent a text message to her. Since you refused to pay me, God will pay you back for owing me without paying me back.
What year was this?
2011.
2011, okay.
So I left. I stopped working. I heard she employed someone else, and I stopped. That was what happened. So one day, the gate man called me and said, Madam, the driver I employed, that they robbed the woman and they injured the woman. She's at the hospital. I left my village. I was driving bike. I went to Asaba. I went to meet her at the hospital. I visited at the hospital. And when I got there, I couldn't meet her, but I met our neighbors who were there with her. So I sympathized with them and I left. Because we were close, very, very close when I was working.
How long did you work for?
Just 2 months.
Oh, you worked for just 2 months?
2 months, yes.
Okay.
Then, 2 months after, 3 months after, I was surprised. The man called me and said they want to give me a job, that she's from the woman. That they heard that I was not working with woman again, that they want to give me a job. I said, okay, fine, no problem, let's meet. He asked me to come to a hotel to meet him in Asaba, Chronicle Hotel Asaba. When I got there, the police rounded me and arrested me, handcuffed me. I said, what happened? They said I should follow them, with hot slap now.
As usual.
Yeah, so I followed them to where they call the A Division Asaba, where they locked me up for 4 days. So
what happened in those 4 days?
I was in the cell. And they didn't even tell me. Okay, they now said the woman, I joined people that killed my boss, that the woman died, that we came to rob the woman. I brought the ambulance to her house to rob her, and she's dead. So that's what they told them. Everybody was spreading rumor that I joined people to rob my boss and I killed her. So while we were in the cell for 4 days, they said the case is with SARS in Lagos State, that they're coming to pick me from Asaba to Lagos State. Okay. So at about 5:30 a.m. on the 6th of June, 2011, some men came, they have beers, earring, with muzzles. They came and called me out from the cell. And he said, that's Harrison. They said, beating me from the cell, right from inside the cell to the counter. Oh yeah, dress up. I was dressing up, they were beating me. All my slap. I couldn't even see. Slapping me. When I'm moving to the car, they handcuffed me to my back like this and pushed me into a Camry 2.4 vehicle parked outside. And that's how they drove me from Asaba. So on our way to Lagos, they took me to Lagos because I know the route. They took me to Benin, to Lagos State. So when we got to Ore, in the car, the man was trying to video my face, I said, why are you videoing me? And I said, why? He was slapping me. My hands from Asaba, my hands tied behind my back with handcuff. So at Ore, they stopped at a place and they brought me down. They asked me to sit down. I sat down. So they were not eating. So old men there were looking at me and they were, what are you doing now? Then I was 22 years. So what happened? I told them, I don't know. They carried me. I was crying. So the old men were praying for me. Later they saw that crowd was coming where I was. They pushed me back inside the car again. And they drove me. While they were driving me, the man said I should confess if I was videoing me with the phone. Confess if I knew nothing, if I was among them. I said, I don't know anything about, why will I don't know anything about this robbery or whatever.
Asking you to confess
to confess that
the crime.
Yes, I was among people that robbed my boss. I said, no. I told them I was even at the hospital and I don't have anything. I don't even know people that robbed her. They were hitting me and he took a gun and said he will shoot me in my leg if I don't confess and tie my leg in nylon if you bleed, So that was how they took me to Lagos. I didn't confess to the crime. I arrived where they call theater in Ikeja. Police headquarters, that's where the SAS office is located, at Ikeja. I know. They took me to the SAS office in Ikeja. It was headed by Abakari.
Okay.
Then the OC SAS in Lagos State. They took me in and they took me to one office to write statement. The handcuff was still behind me. They have to remove the handcuff and ask me to write statement. What do I write? I don't know what to write. Oh yeah, write. I said I can't write because my hand was shaking. I couldn't even move my hand because it was stiff. Yes.
For hours.
So they said, okay, they want to write for me. I said, okay. I told them how I met the woman, how I get employed, and how I resigned. They said, no, this is not what you have to write. I should talk, confess how I took people to rob. I said I did not take anybody to my boss' house to rob her. So they said, eh. So then I did appendix operation, which was still fresh. So the man used his leg and hit me in my tummy. So I fell down. So from there, they took me to the cell. After, to the counter where I removed all my clothes. I was only on bossa. They took me to the cell. And in the cell, we were like 60 in one small room.
Was it as big as this?
This place is bigger than the place. So nobody was sitting down. Everybody was standing. Everybody was standing up. If you want to lie down in the night, some people have to, the people in the cell have to lie down. We have to stand. And
make space.
It was here for me. I was there for 2 weeks in the cell. They didn't show me who accused me. I wasn't able to write statement to say this is what I did or what. So people in the cell say, if you stay here, you will stay 1 month, 3 months if you don't shout or if you don't, make noise. So one morning I break the presidio, please, can I make noise? Can I shout at the gate? So it can be my IPO. So luckily one of the Oga was passing. I now shouted.
One of the Ogas are in SARS?
Yes, in the SARS there. I now shouted, please, I have been here for 2 weeks, they didn't even take me, no statement, nothing. The man said, who is your IPO? I said, Inspector Omorige. Omorige is my IPO. Sergeant Famous is the one they call tallest, is the one that brought me from Asaba. They were my IPO. So they took me, they brought the IPO, and they said, okay, dress up. We are going somewhere. And I entered the car. They drove me to Kirikiri Medium Prison. When we got to Kirikiri Medium Prison, I said, I don't know what I would do. I don't know. So they went inside with the paper. They came back and they took me inside and they asked me to sit down. So I didn't know they came for parade, identification parade. The boy who robbed the woman was already in prison. Was already in Kirikiri Medium Prison. So when they took me to the office, they asked me to sit down. I sat down there. So they took me inside the office. They took people inside the office to be showing the boy. The boy would tell them this one is not among. Okay. About 5 before I now went. I went, they even unhandcuffed. The boy told them no. He doesn't know this person. He was telling he doesn't know Harrison. They pointed at, are you sure this is not? He said, no, this is not the Harrison. I don't know this boy. I don't even know this boy they're showing me. He said, this is the Harrison. They not told him this is the Harrison that followed you to rob Barrister Mary Agbajo.
Wait. The boy said you were not part of
whatever.
He doesn't know you.
He doesn't know me.
So the SARS guys were now telling the boy that this is the Harrison that went with you
to rob. The boy now said no. That I has never met me before anywhere. Now they now gave the boy a statement which he wrote in that place and signed it that I was never part of the robbery. The orders, the record officer there is Mr. Ojo. The another woman again is there too. Everybody was happy. I don't know why we were rejoicing. They said, as soon as anybody mention your name, therefore don't go kill you. Begin thank God. I knelt down, I was crying. I was saying thank God. When we were going, they removed the handcuff from my hand in the healer's van. Bought me gala on the road. I ate gala. I drank coke. I went back to their office. I was happy. Yes, freedom is near. They said, okay, they will call the man to come the next day so that they will release me to go. The next day, I was in the cell. I was happy. People in the cell. I said, I'm going. The boy said, doesn't know me. They were happy that I'm going. Then, one afternoon, they brought me out from the cell and said I should come up. I went up. The woman just pointed at me. She didn't even say anything. She just pointed at me. She slapped from my back. One from my back slapped me. Wow, I couldn't hear again. Slapped me again. Wow. Now led me to where they call the theater. So that theater, terrible thing happens there when we are sleeping because our cell is close to the theater. So at night, they will bring up people from the cell and we hear gunshot. People, they shoot people and people, people shout. When people shout in pain, when people
like
have already...
torture,
yes.
Like a torture chamber.
Yes. So during that time, after this shooting, they will still bring us out from the cell to help them to carry people from the theater inside the healers. Not 5, not 10. We carry people from the theater.
When you say carry people?
Carry dead bodies. People they've shot. They carry them from the healer, from the back, from the theater into the healer's van. And they'll bring us back into the cell. They lock the cell. This happens around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning.
I can imagine the trauma.
So, and when after the man pointed at me, they took me to that theater. I said, when they took me to that theater, I said,
your own don't finish.
My own don't finish. So at the theater, they tie my hand to my back, my 2 legs to my back, use one iron cross to this place. I still have the marks in my laps here. Took me down, put this iron trailer wheel, this truck wheel on my neck. From that up, they hang me.
The rim?
Yes, the rim, yes. Okay. They now hang it on my neck with the iron, the big iron, those chains, they used to chain, they used to draw trucks. Yes, or ships, caterpillars. Yeah. That was what they used to hang from up. So they hung me. I was there. In less than 1 hour, I couldn't move on my hand, on my leg. So I heard a shout from up. Bring him down, bring him down. Not be that one I carry go kiri for parade where they say they don't know him. Bring it down, bring it down. Where I saw myself was that in the hospital, doctors were pressing my chest. About 2 doctors, 2 male and a female, were pressing my chest. That was where I saw myself. This was at Police College, Ikeja. That's what they took me to. And the next morning, they took me to Magistrate Court, 27 Ikeja. And I was charged for armed conspiracy, armed robbery, attempted murder, possession of firearms. And I was taken to Kirikiri Medium Prison, Ikeja. That was how it happened.
So this was a day after somebody had shouted, bring him down.
Yes.
Bring him down.
Yeah.
No be him then. That you were not, nobody.
It doesn't know me.
Nobody pointed at you. Nobody named you for any crime.
Yeah.
Then immediately they charged you to court the next day. So not to sound funny, it's as if all the police people who were involved in your torture, all of them I think they donated offenses for you.
Yeah. So when we go to the warders who were there that day were now saying, nobody them bring come that day. I know the one they brought that day to the prison for the execution parade. I said, what will I say again? So they now went and called the boy. Said, see that boy then carry come. The boy came. The boy was even crying, and the boy came and became my friend. I said, I don't know. This was how the boy told me how he got employed with the woman, and even how he carried out the operation. And I said, I was our ex-driver. He now said, yes, I left before he came. So that was how the prison authority took me in, because they knew that I was innocent, and they asked me what I do. I said, I'm good in computer, pressing computer. I teach computer while I was in Delta State. So they now said, okay, you can be helping us to be doing computer work in the prison. So that was how I got employed, not paid. And I was teaching inmates how to operate computers. And I was helping them with the record office to all inmates that came into the prison. I record their details, fingerprint, and all of them.
Okay.
So that was how it started in Kirikiri Medium Prison.
And you spent how long in that?
I spent from 2011 to 2013 in Kirikiri prison. And later they took me again to Ikoyi prison, where I wrote exam there because they have GC center in Ikoyi prison. I left that place to Ikoyi prison. Then later again to maximum prison Kirikiri, where I went for my jump exam in maximum security. Then 2013, I couldn't. My father, who was supposed to be maybe coming for my case, where my dad had a partial stroke. I'm only child, so they were far away in Delta State. I had nobody to help me. So one day, a water was passing. I was listening to a radio program, Inspiration Radio. So I was hearing this. I think it's late now. Charles B, Inspiration Radio Lagos, where he called his number out. I put the number down, and I think he's sharing life issues. That was the program. So I took the number out and I went to record office and called him on phone. I said, I'm in prison for some years now and nobody is coming for me. I don't have any lawyer. So he now shared my story on air. So the next day, some lawyers came in, and that was where I met one barrister, Gabriel Giwamo, and barrister Emeka Otulu. Gabriel Giwamo went to the court and filed and said, this crime they're even alleging that this boy committed happened in the Delta State, not in Lagos State. So why did they now bring me to Lagos State to try me over this matter? So the court now struck out the case for lack of jurisdiction and ordered SARS to transfer me back to Delta State for reinvestigation.
After how many years? After
spending 2 years in Kirikiri prison.
The same Nigeria that they don't even keep records.
Probably. Yes. So they took me back to, they struck out the matter, they took us back to SARS cell again. Me and that boy now together, and transferred us to Asaba. So stay CID Asaba, where I spent like 2 weeks again, no reinvestigation. They just kept us in cell. And the same way I shouted in Lagos when they took me to meet the boy, the same way I shouted too. And they brought me out from the cell too. And they said, okay, charge him to court. And the woman did not come one day to write statement in Asaba for the order for investigation. And they remanded me, they took me to Magistrate Court 1, Asaba. They remanded me in Owashiku prison, where then I was closer to the house because Ubuluku is my village, Owashiku prison. So my mom were visiting me almost every day, bringing food to me too. So I was in Owashiku prison from 2013 to 2015. So on the 30th November 2015, I went to court like normal days. And when I got there, my lawyer said that they have not been coming for the case. The prosecution said, counsel said they have not been coming for the case. That the woman is not interested in the matter, that she has not been coming to the case. Mm-hmm. And the judge went through my case file and saw that adjournment. No, nobody's talking about anything about the matter. No evidence, nothing to prosecute me. So the judge now read that Harrison is hereby discharged and acquitted. So that was how I was discharged and acquitted from I left prison, 30th November 2015.
It's 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years, yes.
And have you ever seen what's her name, Barrister Mary Oyibocha? Have you ever seen her since then?
I haven't seen her, but I know she has seen me on social media.
Oh, no, she has
seen me on the news.
No, see, great men can hide. How they say, light does not hide. Yes. You always see it. Bad people will ever see good people, you know.